My name is Terica Blake. I will be giving recommendations to Wells Fargo with my company, T. Morgan and Associates Public Relations Firm, on how Wells Fargo can improve their customer relations and their communication to the public. Wells Fargo mission statement is helping customers succeed financially, and they have a vision statement stating to satisfy our customers' financial needs and to help them succeed financially. Company background. Wells Fargo is founded by brothers Henry Will and Williams Fargo. Wells Fargo was born in 1852 as a startup to enable customers to help build businesses and manage their money better in an environment that was changing during the technological revolution. Fast forward decades, Wells Fargo is now considered amongst the top 5 banks in the United States. They've had plenty of class action lawsuits and bad publicity over the past century. Some of those lawsuits include unfairly repossessing vehicles, denying people of color on loan applications, and holding fake interviews with black applicants to make it look like they're interviewing those applicants. Wells Fargo has had a lot of bad press communication. The first step would be to operate more ethically, but we can develop a plan to clean up the company brand moving forward. Discovery number one is the response Wells Fargo had to denying 50% of refinancing mortgages to Black applicants. The date this was released to the media was May 19th, 2022, and the date the statement released was May 27th, 2022. We're going to talk about some areas for improvement amongst those allegations against Wells Fargo. The response that Wells Fargo had lacked empathy and it came off as aggressive. There are very condescending tones to the message. Um, Also, they claimed that the media oversimplified the application process. Wells Fargo did not take any blame. They just pushed it against everybody else. They pushed it against the media. They didn't take any responsibility for their actions. The accusation was released to the media on May 19th, and the response then comes to 8 days later. That shows lack of compassion, as Wells Fargo didn't care. They just had to get something out in order to ensure that they would not stay in a negative light in the media. The statement was released, written, and there is no verbal statement made, and there are no statements made against any additional communication channels to reach out to that target audience. There is nothing that a statement that Wells Fargo released to local news channels. All they did was release a statement via their website, and a few media channels picked up on it. But of course, we know bad news travels fast, and good news travels less fast. So Wells Fargo, they need to use additional communication channels to reach out to those clients who were affected by this. The next discovery we're going to talk about is customers being frauded by employees by opening up millions of accounts from 2011 to 2015. A class action lawsuit was filed March 2022. So employees said that Wells Fargo had unrealistic sales goals. So what these employees were doing was creating fake accounts with fake emails, but with the customer's information. So these customers were paying fees on ghost accounts, and Wells Fargo kind of pushed the blame again. And we're going to talk about how we can improve that. There were millions of fraudulent accounts open. Like I said, the employees claimed that the sales environment was toxic, and they required them to meet unrealistic sales goals. So it pushed them to do unethical things. Also, this is a issue with Wells Fargo's technology and their security. That's something that they need to work on because they have outdated systems, and this is something that could have been avoided had Wells Fargo put the money to enhance their security and uh, technology features. Wells Fargo never publicly apologized to its customers. These customers were paying fees that they've never been authorized to open. So they were very disappointed. They trusted Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo never came out and made a statement. A CEO did come out and he said he put the blame on the employees, which yes, it is the employees who did it, but as a CEO, you need to take responsibility and move forward and fix the issue. They never publicly apologized, and that's a big issue. We need to work on public apology. An additional communication channel, such as a press release addressing these allegations, would have helped. Um, they did disclose that employees were terminated, but they did not address the security issue of the customers' trust being violated. A statement should have been made to reassure customers will update its policy and security measures regarding the issue. And I understand a company does not want to explain what their security uh, protocol is, but they could have said, we're going to update it and make it more strict. They continue to blame lower level employees and never took any responsibility. Top CEO never made a statement. Charles W. Schwab should have made a statement and took responsibility for defrauding these customers. If we don't get this straightened out, Wells Fargo will continue to struggle with their reputation. This issue comes up, the company does not immediately address them and give clear apologies to the correct people, and the correct people are going to be their customers. The one thing that Wells Fargo did do well with this is they terminated over 5,000 employees due to the rule violation. The last discovery we're going to talk about is the grant donation that Wells Fargo made. This is a good thing. The San Diego Housing Authority did receive over $7 million to increase the home ownership for people of color. So some recommendations are to work with social media influencers, including sweepstakes for Hispanic serving and historically Black colleges and universities. It's likely these younger adults will not know about Wells Fargo past history. So if Wells Fargo begins to rebuild their rapport and change their image, this will help in the long run, because the people of the future are going to be young adults. The boomers, they won't be here. So you really need to start building rapport with that younger generation. We need to work with influencers and have promotional giveaways. This will build rapport with younger generations to come. And by that, I mean backpacks, pencils, colors for elementary school kids, middle school kids. Donate those supplies to those communities that can't afford this. There's a lot of families who cannot afford to buy pencils and backpacks for their kids. So it could have a Wells Fargo logo on it. You know, this might be the kid's favorite backpack, and they'll remember that. So when it's time for them to open up a bank, they're gonna open up their first account with Wells Fargo. We want to continue to donate funds to underserving communities. Also, JP Morgan Chase is another bank who has been in the negative light along with Wells Fargo over the past century. They came up with a program to they have donated 30 billion to racial equity commitments for first-time Black and Hispanic homebuyers. So Chase is wanting to increase the amount of people of color who own homes. This is something that Wells Fargo can compete with. They do have the San Diego home buyers donation that they made, but people were affected all over the United States by their negative actions, and if they could expand the program, this would help them in the long run. I want to thank you for enjoying my presentation. I hope that Wells Fargo can apply some of my recommendations moving forward. I think in the next years to come, this will help improve their image. Also, hopefully, we can increase the amount of home buyers amongst Hispanic and Black residents. And I would like to thank you. Have a good day.